If you feel like A, you physically cannot end the day without a sweet treat, B, you're constantly thinking about your next little treat, or C, you are doing so good all day and then find yourself in the kitchen at 9 p.m. eating chocolate, this video is for you. And I want to start by saying something that may surprise you. Your sugar cravings are probably not because you have no self-control. Most of the time, they're actually the result of little habits that you have accidentally trained your body into. Not eating enough, not eating the right things, blood sugar spikes, poor sleep, stress, or simply just having too much sugar all of the time so your body and your brain starts to expect it, and if you don't give it that sugar, it will literally fiend for it. This is the cycle that we need to break. And the good news is that you can start retraining it as of right now. It's the perfect time to do it. Summer is slowly coming to an end and we are about to head into fall. Routines are coming back, and this is your time to lock in before we get to, I hate to say it, Halloween candy, Thanksgiving, Christmas, which is, let's be honest, a 3-month sugar marathon that sneaks in every single year. So today, I am going to share with you 8 very tangible, realistic habits that you can start incorporating right now in order to change your relationship with sugar before fall. So let's get into it. First things first, stop starting your day off sweet. And I know I'm going to disappoint, maybe offend some of you, because myself included, I know how much we love to start our day with a little something sweet. But the flavored coffee, the granola, even the smoothie bowls, pastries, they are not doing your sugar cravings any service. I'm not saying that these foods are bad. I'm not saying it from a calorie or a macro standpoint. I am saying it from a blood sugar balancing. So let's talk about it. What happens when we have that granola before we have anything else? Again, I'm talking about the first thing that you are putting in your body is something sweet. What is happening? You are spiking your insulin, spiking your blood sugar. So for the rest of the day, your hunger is going to be increased, as well as cravings. Your energy is eventually going to drop back down, which is why I talk about it a lot. We want to, especially first thing in the morning, start the day with greens. Have some protein, ideally something that is savory, and then you can have your carb or your more, save the sugary part of your breakfast to the very end. So if you do want that oatmeal, and I do love oatmeal, but I was stuck in a really bad cycle for a very long time. I grew up on oatmeal. I really do love it. So when I was eating it for breakfast on a consistent basis, even though it's like a heavier meal, right? You think that, oh, this is gonna keep me full for long. I was needing to eat even sometimes 1.5 hours to 2 hours. I just ate a big, beautiful bowl of oatmeal. And when I just made little tweaks to that oatmeal, so first of all, starting off with veggies first, having some cucumber slices, or if I don't have cucumbers, I'll have sometimes bell peppers, just a little something green. And then adding protein to that oatmeal so that it's not just a carb. It completely changed the game with how it filled me up. So if you have sugar cravings, my first challenge to you is try to start your day with something savory instead of something sweet. It's going to keep you more stabilized for the rest of the day. And eventually over time, as you start doing it, you think even after 1 to 2 weeks, you will see the difference in how your body is craving that sugar hit, that sugar rush for the rest of the day. Think eggs, avocado, cottage cheese, turkey or chicken sausage. I always usually have a form of meat at breakfast, especially if I'm only having 2 eggs, right? 2 eggs is also not enough protein. Let's add it on that turkey bacon, that beef sausage. We want something that's actually going to fill you up versus like a croissant. And okay, fine. Yeah, on the weekends, maybe I am just having a croissant for breakfast, but I'm talking about what we are doing for 80% of the time. Those habits that we're doing for that percentage of time throughout the week, that's what makes us who we are. And your first meal it sets the tone for the rest of the day. If there's one singular thing I want you to take away from this video, it is this. Stop trying to fight cravings while chronically under eating food. So many women tell me they have a sugar problem, and then I ask what they're eating, and that's why with Shape Elite, which is my more guided one-on-one coaching, I can see what you're eating. So if you're part of the program, you're logging your meals, I can go in and you're telling me like, I have these crazy cravings. I can see, well, this is what you had for breakfast, this is what you had for lunch, and this is what you had for dinner. Here are the adjustments that we need to make, because if you are eating, number one, enough food, number two, in the right order, number three, enough protein at each meal, these cravings should be going away. And then me, alongside Dr. Caroline, our nutrition director in Shape Elite, we together will create, design, and give you a custom meal plan based off of your macros, your goals, your weight, all the good things. But generally speaking, if you are, having a coffee for breakfast, having a salad with very little protein for lunch, maybe a little snack after that, and then by 4 p.m. you were starving because you did not eat enough throughout the entire day, but also you're like, oh, I'm not trying to, eat so much. Like the coffee for breakfast is good because I'm trying to lose those last 5 or 10 pounds. Babe, this is not how we do it. One of the easiest changes you can make right now is having 3 meals a day, solid meals, aiming for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. It's a lot easier than you think. Think chicken salad, tuna, eggs, Greek yogurt, lean beef, turkey, whatever it is. Prep if you need to. There are lots of different ways that we can hit that protein, and this will be the biggest game changer for you if you start to incorporate this, because you should be able to finish a meal and feel genuinely satisfied. Because trying to eat good all day by eating as little as possible is one of the fastest ways that you will end up elbow deep in a bag of candy at the end of the day. This one completely changes the game. Instead of eating dessert randomly throughout the day, eating dessert by yourself when you are starving, instead have it after a balanced meal. Want chocolate? Have it after dinner. Want some ice cream? Have it after a meal that has protein, fat, and fiber. Want a cookie? Great, so do I, but let's eat lunch first. This does 2 things. First off, you're not going into dessert absolutely starving, which will most likely make you overeat that dessert. Maybe 1 ice cream bar isn't enough, you're gonna go for round 2, round 3, and before you know it, you ate the entire box. When you have that balanced meal beforehand, it makes it a lot easier to actually eat a normal amount that feels good. But physiologically, you are breaking that constant grazing pattern, which you have developed over time of constantly grabbing for something sweet every couple of hours. Again, like I mentioned earlier, when you are just having something sweet after not eating for a couple of hours, you are going to spike your blood sugar, which affects everything that I mentioned before. So for those reasons as well, but this is kind of now more about that habit pattern breaking. So I still want you, of course, I do too, like I want to eat the cookie, I want you to eat the things that you love, but I want it to have its place in your day versus letting it control your entire day. And this is very important, because if you tell yourself, what happens when we tell ourselves, oh, you can't have that, all you are thinking about is having it. And I also say this, if you want to eat the damn cookie, eat the damn cookie. If you are like, I'm not gonna eat the cookie, I'm gonna, just have some nuts instead, and then you have the nuts, and then you have another snack, and then you have another snack because you're not satisfied, and then eventually you're just like, oh, damn it, let me just eat the cookie. If you want the cookie, babe, just eat the cookie and move on. But make sure, again, ideally, we do want to have something balanced beforehand. Do a 10-minute walk after dinner. Walking, especially after a meal, I think is one of the easiest ways, easiest habits that you can do to control that post-meal glucose spike. But I feel like people underestimate it or overlook it because it doesn't really, number one, feel like something is working, or maybe it's just not that exciting, or maybe people are just lazy, I don't know. But another thing, instead of going from the dinner table right to the couch and then your brain automatically thinking, ooh, it would be nice to have something sweet. If you go for a walk, maybe it can also serve as a little distraction. Going for a walk has multiple benefits. I do also love a walk in the evening, especially after dinner. Dinner is usually like my biggest meal of the day, but it also creates a physical break between dinner and the rest of the evening. I eat pretty early. Typically, I like to have dinner ready by 6:30, which gives me, a lot of time to go for a 10, 20, even sometimes a 30-minute walk to finish off my 10,000 steps for the day. And going back to the idea of sometimes our craving is actually just a routine or a pattern. So we go from dinner, couch, TV, dessert. Let's rewire. We're changing up the sequence. Dinner, walk, tea, shower, bed. That does sound better. I'm never saying never have dessert after dinner ever again. Probably a handful of nights out of the week we'll have my favorite dessert, which is a date, some peanut butter, cashew butter, with a couple chocolate chips, and that is my little dessert. I'm not gonna cut that out. I've just had a 30, 40, 50 gram of protein dinner. Like, that is not going to spike my blood sugar. That's not going to send me in a spiral. I do have a sweet tooth, so it is something that I enjoy and look forward to, and it doesn't affect the rest of my day, my evening, whatever it may be. I have the little sweet treat sometimes, and I move on. Sometimes all it takes is a little cue for your brain to know that eating is over for the day, and maybe adding in that walk can help you develop and create that new cue for you. I want you to try creating a kitchen closing ritual. So after you are done dinner, I want you to make a tea. Maybe you're cleaning up a little bit with your partner or solo, alone. Put some music on, make it fun. Turn off the kitchen lights, brush your teeth, and distract yourself. Like I said, go for a walk, go do something else. And notice how I'm actually not saying don't eat after 8 p.m. I mean, ideally we want to have a window of 3 hours after we eat before we go to bed. But if you are genuinely hungry after you eat dinner, eat something, have a snack. Maybe that's a signal and a sign for you to reevaluate what you are eating for the rest of the day earlier in the day, because if you are still hungry at 8, 9, 10 p.m., it's probably because you did not eat enough protein and or carbs in your day. But again, you're just going to grab something to snack on out of habit, not because you're actually hungry. This is where we need to make those changes. The goal is to get rid of that mindless, like, let me just go take a look and see what we have. Let's go look at the sweet treats in the pantry. A lot of the times when that happens, we end up eating like 5, 6, 7 different snacks out of, again, just habit. Instead, you want a ritual that is going to tell your brain that you are done eating for the evening. It may take some time, but again, the more you do it, the more that you are going to retrain your operation. And after you repeat it enough times, I promise it will become automatic. Stop keeping your biggest trigger foods in bulk or in your house, period. I know someone is going to hear this and say, but shouldn't I be able to have that food sitting there but have enough control not to eat it? And yes, eventually that is the goal. But if you are actively trying to break a habit, your environment very much so does matter. If there is one specific food that you cannot stop thinking about when it is sitting in your pantry, then why are we buying the Costco-sized family pack version of it? I know it's different and a lot harder when you have kids, and I'm not yet there in my stage of life, but I would think that just like as a family as a whole, we would all want to try to make healthier choices, healthier decisions altogether. I know that sounds a lot easier than it actually is. Okay, but getting back to the point, if you want to have a treat at home that, is there and ready for when you do want something sweet, just buy an individual portion of it, if it comes in individual size, of course. Or don't keep it at home and instead make it a little date night with, again, a partner, with a friend, with a family member. Go and get some ice cream after dinner one night, walk there. Order dessert after dinner when you are at a restaurant, or have that cookie when you are at the actual bakery. The point is, don't bring these items in your home. Make it a point for them only to be available when you are going out, especially, like I'm saying, at the beginning. I actually love doing this because when I am going out for dinner, which isn't, so often, maybe twice a week, I am going to order that dessert because I haven't had like a piece of cake every single day at home. I'm waiting for that experience out at a restaurant. You know, you get a fun little menu, you get to choose what you want and have that experience there. Make the foods that you want to eat more often easy and visible, and make the foods that you are trying to eat less of less convenient. Your environment will beat willpower every single time. Sleep deprivation can actually affect hunger and appetite regulation. So anyone who has ever had a bad sleep, which I mean, unfortunately for some people it's chronic, which can be a big driving factor of why you are constantly having sugar cravings. But even if it's just a one-off, or even if it's after a night of drinking and you have a bad sleep, you know exactly what this feels like. You wake up, you want that pizza, you want that bagel, that greasy, breakfast sandwich. You are thinking about sushi later, you want a hamburger for dinner. When you are sleep deprived, your cravings are going to be more intense for the rest of the day. And I know I just gave you all savory examples, but of course, the same thing goes for sweetness. You wake up hungrier. Your usual meals don't feel satisfying, like that steak with salad, yuck, can't eat it. You want more energy, AKA carb-dense foods, and suddenly your afternoon sweet tooth is out of freaking control. Our sleep controls so much of how we feel, so we need to make sure that we are figuring out the ways to optimize it. Give yourself a consistent bedtime. This is tip number 1. Your body going to bed at the same time every single day makes a huge difference in your rest. Put your phone away by 8 p.m. Make the room dark and cool, and make sure that you are going to bed early enough so that you are at least getting that 7-8 hours of sleep. We're always trying to focus on what to do, what not to do, what we're actually eating, what we're not eating. But sometimes the littlest adjustments, like getting some good sleep, can make the biggest difference in your cravings. Lastly, and I do touch on this point quite a bit, but I want you to stop turning one choice into a bad week. So if you have the dessert, you have it in between lunch and dinner, you don't follow any of the rules, any of the suggestions that I just mentioned, don't let yourself spiral from that one bad decision. This is actually one of the biggest mindset shifts that I've made in my personal life over the years that helped me kind of overcome this vicious cycle of always wanting something sweet. I mean, I eat like a 180 from how I used to eat. I was not always this health conscious girl who was aiming for her protein and having greens before anything else. I was like a lot of people where I was, going to McDonald's, and I grew up on KFC. So over the years, it was always, I don't want to say like a battle or a major struggle, but I've had to change my patterns over time. And the one thing that really helped me was not beating myself up when I did indulge. And this will also allow you to create this 80-20 balance that I always talk about. We have the dessert, we have the ice cream, we eat what we want to eat, but we are doing it 20% of the time. We're trying to do it, in a way that's going to keep our routines and everything balanced. It's going to make us feel good. We're not going to crash from a sugar spike after because we just had our chicken breast for dinner, okay? And we eat the thing and we move on. We don't have ice cream one night and then you're like, well, I already had it 1, 2, 3 nights in a row. I might as well just continue to have it every single night. Nip it in the butt. Again, if this is something that you're trying to control and to work on for yourself, if you want to have ice cream every single night, don't let me be the person that stops you. But I think the point of my messaging is I don't want you to, and I certainly will never be the person who will never have the chocolate. That's not the goal. I don't need your diet to be perfect. The goal is to have something sweet because you genuinely want it, you eat it, enjoy it, and you keep on freaking moving. And the cool thing is once you stop giving sugar that power, that it's, a food category that's either going to make or break how you feel or your results, take that power away and it will feel a lot easier to be around it and feel like you are in full control. Okay, Coach Kelsey here. For the next 2 weeks, this is what I want you to focus on doing. Do not try to remove every gram of sugar from your diet. Instead, we're going to start savory, prioritize protein, eat enough real food, have dessert after a balanced meal, walk after dinner, close your kitchen, get some good sleep. And if you do end up having more sugar one day than you planned on having, keep moving. Give your body and your brain 2 weeks of this consistency and see the changes that you make in your life instead of just assuming, well, you know, I have a sweet tooth, I can't really do anything about it. We always have the power to do something about anything that is happening in our lives. So don't wait for Monday, don't wait for September 1st. Don't wait for the perfect moment, start now. And I want you to report back to me in comments. If you start today, give me a 2-day check-in, 4-day check-in, 1 week. Let me know, come back to this video and I wanna hear your progressions through this 2-week challenge that I just gave you. And again, if you need more accountability, if you need more support, I'm going to link Shape and Shape Elite below so you can, you know, check out the programs and see if it's something that you are interested. So thank you as always for being here. I appreciate you and I will see you next time. Make sure to check out my latest video here.